This episode of FilmRiot is brought to you by Domain.com.
Today on FilmRiot, we roll in with some fog. Roll in with some fog. We're talking about fog. It's like fog. What do you think? Was that a good opener? Cut to the bumper. Welcome to FilmRiot, the show that takes mystery out of the effects and techniques. One of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley. Sci-Fi. An episode on some sexy fog effects a while back, but using cheaper fog has some issues, so we're going to take a look at a way to fix those issues and how to get low-hanging fog. And here's what you need. A cooler of some kind. I'm using a styrofoam one because it's cheaper, it's easier to work with. Some dry ice. I got these packs from a local Albertsons. They went for about 10 bucks each. If you don't know where to buy dry ice, go to this site right here, type in your address, and it will show you some local places that you can get it. Then I have my fog machine, which is this one right here, the Lightning Hurricane 1301, which is a very serious name. It's a stage fogger and a very good one, especially considering it's only 150 bucks. Which I know 150 bucks is a lot of money, but not for a really solid fogger. Next, I have my fog fluid of choice. This is Bog Fog. It's high density fog fluid from Froggies. Really, really solid stuff that hangs nicely. And then finally, a small piece of PVC pipe or other sort of tubing of some kind. First thing we did is make an opening on one side of the cooler. I did this by making a long slit towards the bottom. Next, we find the height of the nozzle to the cooler with the PVC pipe on the other side of the cooler. Create a hole for the PVC pipe, then connect that to the fogger. The PVC I have fit on perfectly, so I didn't have to do anything else to it, but you could use some gaff tape to secure it on there as well. Next, we're gonna take our dry ice and put it in the cooler, and I have to say, when you're using dry ice, use gloves. This stuff is no joke and can burn the shit out of your skin. Seriously, touching this stuff with your bare skin for too long feels like you're getting stabbed with a knife, so please use all the caution forever when dealing with it. I leaned it up against the wall of the cooler that the PVC is coming through. That way the fog hits the dry ice immediately. But now we toss a lid on and we are ready for this. The dry ice cools the fog really well, which causes the fog to hang low as you see here. So you can get some epic looking horror and sci-fi shots. With this cooler, the lid wasn't super great, so it was leaking out, but after taping it up, it worked a lot better. However, I did end up using a different cooler that had a much more solid lid to keep clear of those leaks. And now we can fill the floor with a nice thick layer of fog, just absolutely epic looking goodness, which right at the opening here, you can see the fog just spilling out. You could even use close-up shots to set up a green screen to get some kind of atmospheric type asset. Even the way it moves across the floor is just epic. It looks like something like a plague coming at you or something from Independence Day. It all hangs low pretty well too until it's disturbed, then it kicks right up. But even then, it stays sort of low for a really nice horror type look. And of course, you can backlight it, get some cool effects, or put lights on the ground right under the fog for some other interesting looks. There's a lot that you can do with it. The other thing I found out while testing this was that it was perfect for filling my house with a nice thin layer of fog. I mean, we talked about using fog for more cinematic looks in this episode here, but my favorite use of fog is just filling a room with that little bit of atmosphere. The problem that I usually get, smoke alarms. Once I start pumping in the fog, it's not long till they're screaming since that hot fog shoots right to the ceiling and sets them off. But an awesome happy accident from the test was discovering that cooling the fog first not only filled the room better once it spread out, but it also hung there longer and didn't set off my alarms in the house, which is downright amazing. So from now on, this is my trick to fill a location with a nice layer of haze without worrying about those annoying beeping smoke alarms. And I know I'm using a low to mid-priced fog machine, but you could do the same with a lower cost one. I have a much smaller $50 fog machine that worked well. Not as much fog and you need to reheat more often, but you can still get a solid effect. You could also do this effect with just a cooler filled with regular ice, but I found that this method works a lot better. But now, a quick break, and then we talk more fog action. Domain.com is a place to go if you're trying to get yourself seen on the interwebs. They got the hosting service that's reliable and affordable. They got the domain discovery service to help you pick the right name for you. And when you use the coupon code FilmRiot at checkout, you get 15% off your domain name and web hosting. When you think domain names, think domain.com. That's it? That's all you had? You just waited till the very end?
I didn't have anything this
That's
time.
pathetic.
Logo.
Dry ice is something that's super fun to play with, also slightly dangerous, as I mentioned before, but mostly just fun. Another great effect that you can get is that boiling witch's cauldron look. Just put some warm water in a cup or bowl, toss in a small piece of dry ice, and there you go. You can already see how many useful applications this could have. You could set up a whole set just decked out with this stuff for a really great retro sci-fi horror sort of look. Or if you want to have a lot of fun, / be ridiculous, boil some water and toss a chunk of dry ice at that. But moving on from dry ice back into my fog machine, another thing we did recently was to create a broken down car. We took 2 pieces of PVC pipe and an elbow to create this, then attached that to the smoke machine and set it to rise beneath the engine. On cue, we hit the fog and we have a steaming, broken down vehicle. Super simple and works really well. But that's it for today. Remember to be careful with dry ice if you're gonna use it. Don't, hurt yourself. And as always, I got the Twitters right here to connect and all that. And happy Hanukkah to all my friends who celebrate. And I'll see you guys next week. I'm gonna put a tarantula on a dude's face, which results in the most hilarious scream in cinematic history.
Wait, this was a mistake.
No, don't stop it. Let it go.
This was a mistake.